My neighbor got a promotion last spring, doubled his salary overnight. I'm talking a genuinely life-changing number. And I know this because he told me. And then he told me again at the block party. And then his wife mentioned it to my wife, and suddenly everyone in a 6-house radius knew exactly what Kevin was making. By August, Kevin had lent money to his brother-in-law. His sister called asking for just a little help with her car payment. His college friends started suggesting nicer restaurants when they got together, always somehow forgetting their wallets. And Kevin, who had worked 12 years to get to this moment, looked more stressed at Christmas than he did before the raise. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. And here's what I realized when I watched it happen in real time. The problem wasn't the money. The problem was the announcement. But this isn't really about keeping secrets. I mean, it kind of is, but not in the cynical way you're probably thinking. This isn't about trusting no one or becoming some paranoid hermit who hoards gold under the floorboards. It's actually about something much more psychological. It's about what visibility does to wealth, and what it does to you, and why the moment other people know your financial situation, something shifts that you can almost never shift back. There are three things that happen when you tell people you have money. And the third one, the one nobody talks about, is the one that can genuinely unravel everything you built. Here's where the psychology starts getting uncomfortable. There's a study out of the National Endowment for Financial Education that found nearly 70% of lottery winners end up broke within a few years of their windfall. 70%. These are people who had hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, and most of them lost it. And when researchers looked at why, the most consistent thread wasn't bad investing or wild spending. It was the social gravity that came with everyone knowing. Family requests, friends who needed just a loan, business opportunities that people only trusted them with. The money didn't disappear into bad decisions. It got socially redistributed, one relationship at a time. And I find that terrifying because it means the danger isn't a market crash or an unexpected expense. The danger is Sunday dinner when your cousin mentions he's been having a rough year. Think about what actually happens neurologically when someone finds out you have money. Their brain does this thing. It recalibrates your relationship. You become, in a very quiet and unconscious way, a resource, not a person, a resource. And they don't even know they're doing it, which is the part that makes it so hard to navigate. Your aunt isn't being manipulative when she mentions her roof needs replacing right after you got a bonus. Her brain just filed you under people who can help. And now every interaction carries that subtext, even when nobody says it out loud. This is where the concept of social redistribution pressure comes in. And I mean, that sounds academic, but just think about Kevin. He didn't give that money away because he's bad with finances. He gave it away because saying no to people you love, when they know you can say yes, feels like a moral failure. The shame of having when someone you care about is struggling. That's a psychological pressure that almost no one can resist indefinitely. There's a reason some of the wealthiest people in the world are obsessive about financial privacy. Warren Buffett lived in the same house in Omaha for decades, a house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. And for years, people in his neighborhood had no idea they were walking past one of the richest humans alive. That's not just frugality, that's protection. When people don't know what you have, they relate to you as a person. The moment they do know, something subtle and permanent changes. But here's the part that surprised me when I started really digging into this. It's not just about the people around you. Telling people about your money does something to you psychologically. There's this phenomenon researchers call social completion, the idea that when you announce a goal or an achievement, your brain partially experiences the reward of actually achieving it. You get a little dopamine hit from the announcement itself, and that hit actually reduces your motivation to continue building. You've told people, you've been celebrated. Some part of your brain checks the box and relaxes. Studies on goal intention have found that people who shared their financial goals publicly were significantly less likely to follow through on them than people who stayed quiet. The sharing replaced the doing, at least in the brain's reward system. So, in a very real way, announcing your financial wins might feel good in the moment while quietly undermining the drive that created them. This is exactly what happened to a lot of people during the crypto boom of 2020 and 2021. You probably saw it, people posting their portfolio screenshots, going on podcasts, telling their entire social network about their gains. And then the crash came. And not only had they lost the money, but they'd lost it publicly, which made the psychological damage so much worse. The visibility on the way up created a kind of performance pressure that led people to hold longer than they should have, take risks they otherwise wouldn't, because they needed the story to keep being a good one. The announcement became part of their identity, and you cannot make rational financial decisions when a dollar amount is stitched into your sense of self. Okay, so if this is hardwired into us, the need to share, the social pressure, the identity attachment, what can we actually do with this? Here's what I've learned mostly by watching people get it wrong, including myself. It's not about being secretive in a cold or distrustful way. It's about being intentional about who you let into the actual numbers. There's a difference between living generously and announcing your resources. There's a difference between being honest with your partner and broadcasting your net worth at a dinner party. You can be warm, present, and connected without making your bank account part of the conversation. The people who navigate wealth without losing themselves seem to share one habit. They separate who they are from what they have. And the first step to doing that is not letting the external world collapse that distinction for you. Because once people know the number, they know the number. You can't untell them. And I'll be real with you, this is genuinely hard. We're wired for connection and sharing. When something good happens, the instinct to tell someone isn't a character flaw, it's deeply human. But there's a version of that instinct that serves you and a version that serves the moment. Texting your best friend in the parking lot is different from announcing it to everyone who's ever been in your life. So now, when I catch myself wanting to tell someone about a financial win, I just pause for a second and ask, am I sharing this because it will genuinely deepen this relationship? Or am I sharing it because I want to feel seen? Usually, if I'm honest, it's the second one, and that's okay. But it means I don't actually need to share the money part. I can share the feeling, the pride, the relief, the gratitude, without attaching a dollar amount to it. Because the wealth you protect quietly is the wealth you actually get to keep, not just financially, but psychologically. And the version of you that isn't defined by what's in your account, that's the version that gets to make clear decisions, maintain real relationships, and build something that actually lasts. I'm genuinely curious whether you felt this pull, the urge to tell someone when things start going well financially, and then that complicated feeling afterwards. Because I think more of us have watched a Kevin situation unfold than we'd like to admit. The money isn't the problem, the announcement is. And once you see that distinction, you can't really unsee it.